Good morning, y'all. This is Brad, your people leadership coach, and I just kind of want to dive into a few things this morning and establish some clarity, establish some baselines. Okay, we live in a world where I think we have a lot of concepts in leadership, a lot of books in leadership, a lot of necessary elements because it's important that we get this right. Um, I also have a lot of things on organizational management and uh, excellence in execution, all of those things. Um, but I fear that we miss out on this little niche called people leadership. And it's something that I'm passionate about and I want to dive into a little bit more. But before we get into all of that over the course of the next months and everything else, I want to establish a baseline in terms of some definitions. You know, we live in a culture right now where definitions are a bit uh, variable. Let's call them that. And I just want to get some clarity. Definitions can change all the time. I don't care as long as we understand the context by which the people are using them. So consider that I want to clarify three today: a manager, a leader, and a director. And I'm talking about a lowercase d director, not the title, but kind of the role when it comes to people leadership. So, a manager, we all get the concept of manage tasks, lead people. We get that concept, right? But let's dive into that just a little bit more. Um, so, manager is a person that's responsible for the tasks that they and a broader team of people are going to accomplish. A common example of this is a project manager. They have no responsibilities of leadership or people underneath them. They simply are focused on task completion. Okay. A leader, on the other hand, is not responsible for task management. They are responsible for people. They are responsible for um, the elements of people leadership, the disciplinary elements, the safety and security of the people, the success of the people, and the growth of the people. Okay. All important roles, no matter what their title is, all important roles if they have the role of leadership. And then finally, the director is responsible for leaders. So, in other words, and managers, by the way, um, they have kind of the step up responsibility to ensure that the leaders are doing their job, that the managers are doing their job, and they themselves are therefore a leader and have a leadership role. But they also have that directorship role where they're mentoring the leaders and the managers as well. So, with the clarity on that, I'd like us to move forward. I'd love to get your feedback just in questions and things like that we might be able to talk about on this context, in this forum, to be able to go forward and really dive into the fact that the competencies of a leader are dramatically different than the competencies of a manager. And we live in this, I don't know, business world that defaults into management and defaults into task completion and seems to forget this whole competency around people leadership. And this is what I'd like to bring out a little bit more and get some clarity on and provide some clarity on, so that people begin to realize that there is a very distinct competency around people leadership and around how we go about leading people. And I'll start with an example. Really common thing going on in our world today is the expectation that leaders are given to have a one-on-one with their people. It is a great expectation to have, but it is fundamentally failing horribly because no one is taught what to do in the one-on-ones. And so what ends up happening is we default to what we know. See, we've always defaulted to the idea that you're really good at a particular thing. Maybe you're an engineer, maybe you're an accountant, things like that. And then you get promoted because you're a team lead, you're good at this, and you get promoted into management or into a manager role, or what I'm going to call a leader role, right? To where you're responsible for a team. And in that particular case, you get promoted into that because you're so excellent at what you do. And you might even, some organizations are going to provide you some level of training on how to do that particular role. But what we find is there's no follow through beyond that. You're given the training and you're expected to lead, quote unquote. And what are those responsibilities? Just, at the end of the year, do a review. Well, we all know what being on the backside of that review looks like. It's pretty horrible. Um, so, what I am encouraging, what I'm trying to get out there, is that there is a day to day competency that you have to act upon in people leadership. And that day to day competency culminates in the one on one. And you can do it weekly, you can do it monthly. But right now, our one on ones are operational. So let me be clear, an operational meeting is not a one on one, and a one on one meeting is not an operational meeting. Your people, the people who report to you, the one on one is their meeting, it's not yours. And it's their responsibility to bring the agenda. And it is a conversation about who they are, not what they do. So, with that, I'll go back. We've got manager, manage tasks, leader, lead people, director, leads either, and they are a leader themselves. We have one on ones that drive people related conversations. And we have to build competencies. We have to teach our people. Directors, you have to mentor your people, not coach, not be friends, not anything other than mentor your people into being excellent leaders. And if you aren't calling that out, and if you aren't being the example and calling out the unique competencies of people leadership, then you as a director are failing your role as a director. So, with that said, I know that's a bit blunt, um, but that's where we're going to get started. I lean pretty heavily into the accountability of our roles, especially when it comes to leadership. And I want to dive into it further. So, I'd love to hear from you, love to get your feedback, love for you to pass this around, get some thoughts, share it with whoever, just providing a little bit of clarity. And let's keep diving in and work through what it means to have competencies of a leader. Thanks so much for following, for diving in, for getting connected here. And I look forward to, I've got a people leadership book coming out in the process, working through it. And I look forward to being able to get that out, distribute it, and be able to share more on these concepts as we go. I'm passionate about this topic, so please feel free to engage. Ask me anything. I realize that it's also a scenario where you might not be able to or be comfortable asking something publicly. So please feel free to message me. I'm at author Brad Eck in LinkedIn, Facebook, Insta, X, everything. So just reach out to me and feel free to ask your questions, and I will do everything that I can to either answer directly or to fold it into a conversation, because I intend to do many more of these. So we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much for listening and stealing 10 minutes of your day. Have a great day.